How far do you need us to step back?
They want everybody back. Everybody.
God, we are pressed, though. Can we stay where we are?
I know. They want everybody to step back.
Okay. Any sense of how far we need to step back?
We have to push out all the way back.
All right. Are you able to tell us what is happening there? Because we're trying to.
I just got called in for a backup, sir. That's it.
Okay. Is this okay if we stay here?
You can back all the way up past that.
All right. Well, unfortunately, we won't be able to cover it if we go that far back. We don't want to get anybody's way, but we won't be able to cover it if we go that far back. All right. So are we good now?
Yeah. Back them up. Yeah.
All right.
All
right, so you hear what's going on here. They are asking us all to back up. The rules around here are that you can't interfere with the coverage of law enforcement, so law enforcement is asking us to back up. We are asking them, do you know why we're being removed?
Keep going.
Can you tell us what's going on behind you? Okay. How far do we need to go back?
Y'all going all the way down there. All the way down.
All right, so that impedes our ability to talk about what's going on. Okay, do you know if anybody... are you making arrests? All right. Well, as you can see, Catherine, we're not getting a response as to what is happening here. We are being pushed back, however. We can still see there is more police presence that is gathering on the scene. We're still seeing more police. We're not seeing what looks like a lot of interaction between police and protesters. I did see one arrest. I haven't seen more since then. But this is the situation. These police are being... very professional about it, but there are 7 police escorting me back to make sure that I'm doing this.
Last night's trouble, the Newark police were involved in. How tightly connected were you with what happened after 10 o'clock last night in Newark?
Yeah, I was briefed on everything that was going on. Obviously, there was we have mutual aid, and so everybody was called to the scene. Most people were on the scene anyway because of the earlier protest and anti-protest ICE and anti-ICE, protests.
I will interrupt you, Mayor. I will interrupt you. I spent many hours there. That's simply not true. That is simply not true. Most of those police arrived in the moments before what you saw on TV. That's what you said there is just not true. You know what? You know what the thing about when the day you got arrested was interesting is that we had cameras. We were able to demonstrate what actually happened. So you could be completely right about what you happened. I know that there were cameras. There was a drone and there was a big camera right in front of Delaney Hall. So there's evidence of whatever happened last night. But you saw I couldn't cover it. I was not impeding law enforcement in any fashion, in any way when we started, and they must have walked me a mile away. Your police in New York pushed us back. Why is Newark doing this?
Well, there was a curfew that was established.
There was not a curfew at that point, right? Right? What time did you establish curfew?
No. At 12 a.m. It began that night at 12 a.m. After there was a fire that was obviously... Whatever the fire was.
You're talking about 12 a.m. this morning, right? You're saying 12:15 a.m. this morning.
This morning, 12 a.m.
Yeah, so this was before that. Everything that happened last night was in the 10 p.m. hour. So there was no curfew. We were not in violation of anything whatsoever. I have First Amendment rights in this nation, and your police department defied your police department. But I have a lot of video. We can keep on playing it of me asking them why they're pushing me back and no explanation.
And there go the police. Maybe they've finished doing their violence.
I understand what you guys are doing. You no favor, bro. Just walk away. Just walk away. Please stay here, okay?
We don't need directors.
All right.
We've been
Stay here. If you move up from here, you'll be placed under arrest. Everybody understand that, right?
No, we have to. We don't need your directors. Don't need yellow snow. You are wrong.
Directives I want.
Okay.
Follow instructions or you'll be going for a ride.
Nobody's scared.
Bro, you're not bigger than the law. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Don't go home and beat your wife.
You're not that guy.
Look where you belted.
Your wife is probably getting fucked right now.
Come up with a better one than that.
Because you don't got a wife, right?
Your husband.
Well, I want to give a shout out to our very own John Farina for very bravely clapping back at the police, not taking their bullshit, pushing back, because just because a police officer says something to you, just because a police officer says that they have an order to do something, doesn't mean that that is a lawful order, doesn't mean that you have to do anything. You ask them for a supervisor. You ask them what law you're breaking. You ask them are you being detained or are you free to go? And if they say you're being detained and they start to detain you, don't say anything. The only word you should ever say is lawyer. That's the only thing you should say if you're being arrested until a lawyer is present. When do we get our First Amendment back?
Some of our colleagues were arrested. We're trying to see if we can get them out. You arrested members of the press.
Yo, walk down that way. We're not going to tell you again.
You arrested some of the press.
We arrested everybody, and you will get arrested if you don't leave. This is the fourth time they told you. Let's go, move.
We're outside half a mile. Where are we allowed to stay? Where are we allowed to stay? We're on a public sidewalk outside half a mile. Where are we allowed to stay? Where's the line?
There's no clear communication, just bullying.
From fucking Ohio, I don't care. Get out of here.
Wait, why do we have to? Why does the press have to go home?
Get out of here.
Why does the press have to go home?
Why can't we stay here?
Can you tell us why the press has to go home?
Let's go.
Is there any reason why? They have to get processed first.
Okay. I'm gonna wait for
You haven't made clear where the line is.
They told you to go.
We told you to pass the bus.
There's
a bus. There's a bus. Yes.
All right, go. Come on.
Times already. Relax.
Go.
You're short as fuck. You knew I was talking about you.
Hold on, come on. He knew. Careful. We still gotta find our camera. Yeah. Hands you the trigger.
Let them keep doing their jobs. Say that again?
They're raiding the tent.
They're raiding the tent now. They're going through the mutual aid tent because they can't stand the concept of helping your community. Instead, they just want to bust it up.
But they're trying to set an example. I'd argue that the Streisand effect is what's going to happen here because they did that. More people